Hi, I'm Paula Poole, and I am one of the directors of Fuel for Schools with my friend Demelza Gardem. And we started Fuel for Schools back in 2015, just from a phone call from Demelza. A bit upset one day about a little guy that they were making Christmas baubles, and this little guy was pretty upset that it was Christmas time and the family didn't really have anything, and they didn't have a Christmas tree and let alone Christmas decorations. So Demelza and I thought we'd help that family out that Christmas, and we bought them all their school supplies for the next year. We found out how many kids there were in that family, and we bought them all a Christmas present and a Christmas tree and Christmas decorations, and we wanted to make it very special for them. And we anonymously gave this family their prezzies and their school supplies for the following year. And I think there was 5 children in that family. So that was really special, that first family that we helped, because they were super stoked with all of their little goodies that they received, and especially the school supplies for the next year. Actually, especially the socks that were in the backpacks that we put together for their school for the following year. Yeah. From that first family that we helped, we sort of put our feelers out to a couple of the schools, and we asked some teachers, because there is a lot of hidden poverty in our town, and there's a lot of kids that sort of are on the down low of this hidden poverty in our town. So they go to school with a plastic bag and their school supplies, barely school supplies in their plastic bag, with no lunch or no breakfast or anything like that. So at this stage we were just doing backpacks. So we asked a few teacher friends of Demelza's and mine to keep an eye out on those kids that were sort of going under the radar, and they were the kids that we wanted to help for that next following year. So for a couple of years we, again, anonymously gave some backpacks to some students, and then I have a little following on social media and I've got some really cool clients, so I reached out to some clients for I think after year 3, I think it was year 3 or 4, and we asked the community to help us out with some backpacks. So we started off with 5 that very first year, and then I think we went to like 70, and then we went to 120, and then 500, and now we do, every January we hand out over 1,000 backpacks every year. So 2015 we started, as we said, and I think it was around 2018, 2019 we said, how can we help the high schools? And Demelza, I think at first we were thinking about lunches. How can we help? Can we do lunches? And that sort of proved to be extra hard because you needed a food handling license, and there was a whole bunch of things that went with that. So Demelza was chatting to a friend of hers at Thowongower, a chappie there, Chappie Dan, and he was saying that they could use a hand with the breakfast club. Sometimes the teachers would help out, and sometimes the chappies had food, and sometimes they didn't. So we said, okay, well let's prop your brekkie program up. So it started with Thowongower High, and then the reach sort of went from there. So we went to the next high school, and then all of a sudden we were doing a whole bunch of high schools, and now we do all the high schools. Public high schools, I should say. Well, I think, it's been organically growing every year, and when Melza and I started this, we sort of didn't fathom that it would even be where it is now. So every year there's new schools reaching out, we want to go further west, even down south. We would like to go as well. This is a program that can go nationwide if we really could push for it, but obviously it's the funding side of things that hold us back on that. So we'd certainly love some more funding from anywhere we could get it. Would be fantastic. So I would certainly like it to be all over Australia. If we were able to do that, we would love to do that.
My name's Demelza Gardem, and in 2015, Paula Poole and I started our little charity that is now known as Fuel for Schools. It all started from a phone call I made to Paula after a particularly rough day in the classroom, when I became aware that a lot of kids are coming to school without the basics, and that ultimately falls on the teachers to help fill that gap. But there's only so much you can do. And it gets very overwhelming as a teacher when these little people you're trying to educate and you learn to love as your own are missing out on the basics. So very emotional phone call to Paula, and Paula being Paula said, well, let's just do something about it. So that is basically where we started with our backpacks, and now we've grown to providing backpacks for over 60 primary schools, breakfast clubs for every state high school in Townsville, and then breakfast clubs for primary schools all throughout North Queensland. So now, as we're working through all of the primary schools we support in Townsville, Charters Towers, Mount Isa, Ingham, little communities in between, and our high schools that we support, we're sending out over 350 loaves of bread a week, and then the butter, over 72, it's about 75 1 litre tubs of butter every week, and then we've got milk, we've got Milo, that's all going out, ridiculous quantities going out every week to our schools. So we don't limit the schools we don't give them, this is your box. We have relationships with all of our schools where they're letting us know exactly what they want. So that does two things. It prevents wastage, and it also makes sure the kids are getting what suits them. So we have some schools that will have Milo, just milk and Milo, hot Milo 1 day a week, and then they'll have toast on another, whereas we have other schools that will do toast every single day of the week for their kids to get them to school. So as we've evolved over the 10 years, we initially started out with backpacks. Then we went to breakfast clubs for high schools, as Paula said, influenced by our good friend Dan from chaplaincy. And then we were offered an opportunity. Both Paula and I have a big problem with saying no, and we are prone to saying yes and figure it out later. So we were offered an opportunity which seemed amazing. We were going to receive support for primary school breakfast clubs. So we threw everything we had into that. We employed Paddy as our operations manager and believed we had the funding provided to do that. And then the funding was pulled, and we were in a situation where we either had to say sorry to all the primary schools, no, we can't support you anymore, or we had to figure it out. So we figured it out, and it's only through the generosity of the Townsville business community and individuals that support us that we were able to then say, yes, we can do this. We didn't want to go back on supporting the primary schools, but we were put in a very difficult situation and had to tread water fast. So thankfully, we have some amazing businesses and people that have jumped on board with us and allowed us to overcome that. As we look to where next, I feel like the more support we can get, the more we can offer. And whilst we have the support of our local community, we'll continue to do great things within our community. And when other communities approach us, Mount Isa, for example, Charters Towers, we are able to work with them to support their local communities. We want, ultimately, local people supporting their local communities, like it used to be in the good old days, and bringing back that sense of community looking after each other. Even through our rapid growth over the last 10 years, some things haven't changed. We've changed in how much we're providing in the schools that we're working with. The things that haven't changed is that we have a relationship with the schools we're dealing with. They know who we are. We talk directly to them. Our why hasn't changed. We want kids at school. So any student that comes to school can access our breakfast clubs. Some of them bring their parents, their younger siblings with them. We just want kids at school for not only the educational benefits, but the social and emotional benefits of being there, having a piece of toast, having a conversation face to face with people that generally care about them and have their best wishes at mind. So for us, the thrill in paying it forward and hopefully equipping those families to be able to pay it forward themselves remains the reason why we do what we do.